All right. So, welcome to Top Rankers, and this is Admit Sure batch. I don't know whether you know me or not. My name is Abhishek Leela Pandey, and I have been training students for all sorts of subjects, be it quant, LRDI, or VARC, and even for the second stage of selection, that is GDPI and VAT. So today I'll be discussing something called resume, form filling, and SOP basics. So just confirm that you am properly audible and visible at the same time. Hello, am I properly audible? Okay, cool. Hello. Okay, so there's some technical glitch. I think now it's fine. Cool enough. So I think my introduction is clear to all of you. And let us start with resume, form filling, and SOP basics. So the thing is, once you get the call from any B school, so you get a set of things that you have to take there within a file or a folder. So the things are in order. The first thing should be a resume, or we can say a CV. So that is the most important thing. And in IM Cozy Code specifically, they ask you to upload your CV beforehand, before actually going in the for the final round. So, but apart from IM Cozy Code in all the college, when you take the file with you, the folder with you, you have to carry the resume. That should be the first page. And after that, there'll be more things which we'll discuss in this session. So, welcome everyone. Let us start. Well, so first of all, we'll discuss that how a resume should look like for a B school specifically. It's more or less same resume which we create for kind of a job, but there would be some kind of difference. The first thing is the contact information. Your name, your address, your phone number, your date of birth, your email address should be there. That should be the first. It can be top left or top right, depending on which format you use. I have also included some formats and a sample CV for you guys to refer to. Well, now comes the objective. So the first impression that you will make through your CV or your resume will be the objective. Here, and you do not have to write at length. It can be of 2 lines at max or 2.5 lines, where you should be highlighting your short-term and long-term goals in a very crisp and precise manner, and how the B school you're applying to would help you in achieving them, your goals. So that is something which your objective should be. Like, I want to join this college because the finance stream of it is the most respectable, something like that. And my goals are aligned to finance. So you can just write objective based on the kind of B school or the program that you are interested in. I hope I'm clear about that. Next comes the work experience, that is, if applicable. So tell me, how many of you are working professionals, or you have some kind of work experience? Let's see that. 35 month experience. That's really good. Okay. Well, so the experience, how it should be. how it should be 9 months internship experience, 19 months. Okay, I'll tell you something. If you have worked somewhere as an intern or as a freelancer while you were in your graduation, that won't be counted as the work experience. Never write that. Okay, like in the college, you might have worked for some content agency, let's say for 3 months. That will be freelancing. That'll be coming under extracurricular activities, not under work experience. So whatever you have done after graduation, that will be counted as work experience. Okay, for those who are saying internship, that won't be your work experience. All right, and the thing is, you should be using reverse chronological order. When I say that, what do I mean? So, what is chronology? It's a time-based linear progression. So, basically, if you go from past to present to future, that will be known as the chronological sequence. But if it's but if it is a reverse chronology, that means your recent designation should be used first, then a brief job description of that recent designation, and followed by the highlights or achievements. Okay, so achievement can be okay, you were promoted twice in a year, something like that. Or probably working for some client and you increase the profit by 1.2x. So these are the achievements, and the highlights can be okay. While you're working, you're also involved in some kind of corporate social responsibility work. But the main thing over here is you can write the things which for which you have a proof, a verifiable empirical proof. So if you were actually promoted, you should have a kind of an email or probably a promotion letter, something like that. So we should always have a verifiable proof because they might verify the things that you have said. I have okay. There are some queries that father's business can be counted work business or not. Now it also depends on what kind of it's a registered company, to what scale it is operating. If it is operating pan India or probably globally, and you are there as as a salaried employee, something like that should be there. So this is a very subjective question, depends on case to case basis. In case you have these kind of questions you need me to address, then I'll be there's a if you go to the portal, I have started something like Cat Set Go. It's a questionnaire and Q&A kind of thing. You can just put your exact specific queries, which cannot be covered inside a session. So I'll be replying to you guys personally. Some if you want to talk about the father's business. All right. I hope that is clear. So I will be needing some more details about that. Cool. Achievements, highlights, and here I'll tell you something. In work experience, you can not write length essays. No, we don't have to do that. We basically have to stick to a very precise and a kind of very simple tone, that this and this happened on this and this date due to this and this by your reporting manager or senior. So this is what these school would actually be looking for. Then comes your education profile. A lot of people tend to mistake that the right education first, then the work experience. Never do that. Write the work experience first and then the education. Okay. And it is applicable only for people who are working. For the freshers, of course, this is not applicable. Education profile, the best way to represent is in form of a table with easy to reduce information, and they should again be in reverse chronology. So if you have done your graduation, that should be coming first, then your 12th, then your 10th. If you have done so any professional certification, let's say CA, or any kind of diploma, any kind of certification, so that should be coming before the graduation, the masters. All right. You should clearly represent the board, CBSE, ICSE, or any kind of board, any state board will be presenting in the table. Also, the score that we have got, be it CGPA or be it percentage, be it CQP. So it depends on what kind of scoring method was used in your university or the board. That should be there clearly with your subjects, and do not write all the subjects. 10th में 6 subject थे 6 के 6 लिख दो, not like that. In 10th you can just write 2 3 subjects, and after that your main thing, the main subject should be in the graduation or the PG if you have done any. Well, so this is something which we should be doing, education profile. Then comes the achievements. So when I say achievements, I'm talking about the academic or non-academic. achievement, majorly it is an academic achievement. For example, let's say you top your state or top the board, or you were the first person to cross certain kind of some kind of threshold. So this is an academic achievement which should be in sync with your education profile. Then comes the co-curricular and extracurricular activities, and these two things are people get confused that what should be done in curricular, co-curricular and extracurricular. When we say this is the prefix co-curricular. So curricular is something within curriculum that is with the studies, and co means like we use cooperation, coordination. So basically something which is in sync, in sync with curriculum, that will be a co-curricular activity. For example, a presentation, a quiz, an essay writing competition, a debate. All right. So I hope a lot of you must have gone through a lot of co-curricular activities and mention them step by step. And if you have achieved anything over there, write that as well. But do not forget to have an empirical and a verifiable proof for that. Let's look at the queries first. Okay, cool. So I think all queries have been answered. If you have any doubts about you have done something, it be coming under co-curricular or extracurricular, you should ask me in that thread that I have made, the questionnaire. If you have any query right now that what can be counted as co-curricular, etc., you can ask me right away. Extracurricular activities, they'll be referring to sports, dance, music, any community work. So there, it happens like in your colleges, there are culture communities. There are communities for finance, for business, communities for PR. So I hope a lot of you might be heading those communities or might have somehow contributed in those communities and must have achieved something. So that will be coming under the extracurricular activities. So I'll give you an example. I was in Delhi before this. So in Delhi, there is a college called Hindu College, Hansraj College. So they had a PR team which is composed of students only. So they asked me to, okay, you can come and give a seminar, probably sit on a podcast. So for those kind of things, those people who were in the PR community of the college, for them it will be an extracurricular activity. Okay, we got someone for our podcast. Clear? I hope it is clear to all of you. That is extracurricular activity. Then comes hobbies and interests. Mention the hobbies which you have been pursuing for a long time and you're interested in this section. Long time. अब ऐसा नहीं है कि आज से 2 दिन पहले मुझे मालूम पड़ा कि coins को collect करना is numismatics. How cool that sounds. Okay, so I'm really cool. I collect coins. No, not that. If you've been collecting coins from last 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, and you have a collection of that, so that will be coming under your hobby. And also try to have an empirical and verifiable proof for your hobbies as well. For example, if you have collected coins, take a picture and have a printout in your folder. If you are collecting stamps, so or if you are into kitchen gardening की photo mat lena, of course. So for that, you can just write, okay, these all things I have done. Probably they might ask some questions if they want to ask. This will be coming under hobbies. By the way, how many of you love music? Oh, wow. So many music lovers here. Olympiad and quiz will be included in co-curricular. Exactly. Olympiads, quizzes, if they are organized by your college, that'll be co-curricular. If you have gone to some other Olympiad, let's say British Olympiad, something like that will be extracurricular activity. Participating in case study, competition, robotics, etc. Co-curricular activities, right? Exactly. That is co-curricular activity. Singing and music. So be prepared for the. Sometimes, the interviewers are very much interested. They will, okay, they'll understand. Okay, you have done this, you have studied that. But if you, there's one very particular and important difference between your education and your hobbies. I'll tell you what. So education is something which you might have chosen because of our education system or due to some kind of peer pressure or some kind of routine. But hobbies and interest something which you choose on your own. Okay, so I hope you're getting me. So an interviewer would know that this guy has chosen music as a hobby. That means it is his own personal choice, and let me ask questions about that. So if you say music, they might be asking you that how many kinds of classical music is there in India. So there are two, the classical and the Carnatic. They might ask you dance. What kind of dances are there in India? In which state the dances are there? So always write the hobby if you have that from a long time, and also prepare yourself for n number of questions in those hobbies. So I'll be taking some PI rounds with you as well, in which I'll be asking these kind of questions. So yeah, be prepared for that. But I hope you get it, that what is actually required to be written over here. Cool. Hi Dave. uh, well, now we know what has to be included here. Let us talk about what should not be included. That is the most important. Strengths and weaknesses. This is something which you should not write in your CV unless explicitly mentioned. Do not write that. References, कि ठीक है, ये मेरे college professor थे, he liked me a lot, I was really good. So don't write all that stuff over there. Languages known, no, that is not important. If you know some kind of, some foreign language, let's say German or French or Espanol is Spanish, so you can write that. पंजाबी, उड़िया, उर्दू, ये नहीं लिखना है unless explicitly mentioned. Signature, no, नहीं करना है. Marital status or family details or declaration is something which should be avoided unless they have asked it explicitly. Clear? So this, I hope all the data in this slide is clear to all of you. If you have any queries, ask me, and then we'll move forward with the next slide. Got a call from SPJMR, profile based. Really helpful if I assigned. Sure, sure. I'll arrange somehow that we get connected, and I'll be guiding you that what has to be done in case you get a call from SPJAN. It's a totally profile based call, and a lot of things. They have another kind of interview altogether. Okay, this is a sample for the freshers basically. I have not written any kind of work experiences, but look at this, absorb this information. This is the column in which I talked about the name and details, educational qualifications. But if you are working, then you should write the work experience over here first, and then you should go to the educational qualifications, degree, year of passing, name of college or institution, board oblique university, percentage, and any kind of remarks. Projects undertaken. Projects can be two kind of projects can be there. A project can be one which you have undertaken while your studies, and one while your working experience, that will be coming over here. Technical papers or seminars. A lot of people write journals. They're part of some journals. You can write over there any kind of paper that you have written, any kind of seminar that you've been a part of. Then the co-curricular activities, the extracurricular activities, in case you have won something, just move, kind of you flaunt over there. Okay, I have won this. I won the first prize or the gold medal, something like that. And then the hobbies and interests. Ramshi, PPT is not clear. No problem. I'll do one thing. I'll upload this in the thread cat set go, where you can just look at all the as images I'll upload it. Okay. I hope that will help. Cool. Let us go to the next one. This is a CV in which details are already filled. So here, the name and address is, objective is there. I'll upload it, of course. Education qualification, projects undertaken, technical papers, activities, co-curricular and extracurricular, and hobbies and interests. So I'll upload all of this, and guys can access it. Final year internship, can you mention? Of course. That will be a kind of, any kind of projects that you have undertaken while graduating, that can be presented over there. All right. Any kind of queries from YouTube, Devin or the other person? All right, Sundaram. Well, now let us go to the next one. Well, so this is an image which I like a lot. And what is this? So tell me, if you look at this, okay, resume and SOP, but what kind of visualization or imagery is getting created in your mind? Or I would say reverse imagery. Image is already there. So what comes to your mind once you see that? Any kind of idiom or phrase? क्या दिमाग में आ रहा है? Tip of the iceberg, Satyam. Yeah, that's smart. Very good, Satyam. Tip of the iceberg. Exactly. So we can say that resume is just tip of the iceberg, while the real substance lies beneath the ocean. This is your exact personality. Statement of purpose. This is where we have to be very careful while writing. All right, cool. So let us understand this. That's really clever, Manila. Got 922. I am Ahmedabad, Jelly Jacob. Yeah, of course, if you have obtained more than 70% in all the sections, you will get a call for sure. Just graduate from BSc, professional CAT 24. What to do for my profile? Please help search. Shivam, of course, I'll be replying to your comment after the session. All right. So let's talk about what is the difference between resume and SOP. In the next slide, this is a sample SOP that I have written. But before that, I want you to understand this. In a resume, in a resume, the tone should be very objective tone. Present the facts and figures the way they are. Do not add any kind of opinion. All right. And in SOP, the tone should be mild and a subtly personal tone. Personal मतलब ये नहीं आप देखोगे I felt very happy to see my parents one day when I was working somewhere. No, not that. Subtle personal means that this will be kind of a story. And you know what? Stories or narratives are the things which hook your audience. Okay, in this case, your examiner, your interviewer. So if you present something with starting with a quotation, I hope all of you remember your school days in which you tried to write essays. So teachers used to say, okay, start with some kind of quotation. Any quotation or any kind of achievement or any kind of event that transformed your life altogether, you know, and created a new kind of interest in something. So that is what I call the subtle personal tone. Clear? It should be mild. Resume should be full of pointers. SOP should have descriptions. So what you're telling your resume can be described in an SOP, but it doesn't mean कि you have written कोई एक point कि यहाँ पे मैंने टॉप किया था, टॉप कैसे किया था इसके बारे में ऐसे लिख दिया. No, not that. So the very important high points in your life need to be described in such a way that they shape your character in some or other way and help you to succeed or to learn or to transform or to get enlightened. Clear? So I remember, I'll give you an example. It, for some people, let's say they were kids like 7 or 8 years old, and they were just walking somewhere or traveling on a trip, and there someone saw a dewdrop on a leaf. Okay, a dewdrop on a leaf, such a beautiful picturesque location. They go there and they love it. Wow, it is so good. So after that, a person can get into two kind of things. He might get artistic and start writing poems, or he might get shocked that why this dewdrop is not spreading or not scattering. He might go into physics due to surface tension or due to the cohesive force of the water molecules and adhesive force of the leaf and the water. Okay, that be too technical, but any kind of event can change your entire mindset. I hope you get the example. The dewdrop on a leaf. You can either become a poet or a scientist in this just same one incident. Is that right? Understood? Hi, Shivam. Understood? Please tell me in the comments. Can you give me some more instances from your life which actually somehow, transformed you? Any kind of example. Just think about that. I'll give one example from my life. So it happened once, like right now, I've become a trainer. So what happened? See, I was a kid and I was so much attached to physics and electromagnets and everything. Now you will enjoy this. So one of my I was in standard eighth, I believe, and there was one girl neighbor in standard fifth. So she came to me and her mother told me, okay, she is bad in science, just try to improve her acumen. So I did something. She was good in painting, drawing, sketching, and everything. So I told her that I'm going to draw a fairy with wings just by physics. And she was shocked. How do you do that? I took a paper. Beneath the paper, I put an electromagnet, a solenoid. I hope you understand that. Solenoid, like you wind wire around it, wires, and you give, you know, current from both the ends through a battery, and this transforms into electromagnet. So I put a switch beneath it, and I drew a girl, a kind of fairy, and I covered it all with iron fillings, iron ka chura, iron ka powder, and I put it beneath it, paper ke niche. And I switched this on, and what happened? The iron particles aligned to the magnetic lines. You remember that? There's a magnet, and these are the magnetic lines. I hope you remember that. Fundamental physics. So it looked like the wings of a fairy. So see, now this incident uh, enlightened me that I can explain things well. This is my story. Everybody has a story. In the end, we are all just stories, isn't it? So I'll be really happy. I'll be really happy to see that what all things you can think of. Rishabh, of course, time interview, you need to produce certificates. That is very much important. Project with no work, with the right work experience, Manila, a job description is what you can write. I can mention that we are waiting for any kind of projects. Clear? Cool. So I will just share a thread over there in the cat set go and let's discuss about the things that transform your entire life. Blue Crusader, yeah, of course. I'll be in class for 24 batch as well. Now coming to this chart again. By the way, how do you like the story? This is, and I would like to listen to your stories also. Let's interact more. Let's interact on a higher frequency these days. Pointers, SOP's description, resume, education, qualification that we've discussed already. In SOP, how that education transformed you. Okay, professional experience in resume, why you chose the profession. That is SOP. So I hope you understand the difference between these two. Hobbies and interests, how your hobbies reflect your personality. Clear? So if you like painting, that means you're a person who can visualize, who can imagine. If you like leading some kind of cultural society, in your school or in your college, that means you're a person who is born with some kind of managerial acumen. All right. If you're a person who tries to collect stamps or coins, that means you are very much interested in human history somehow. So this reflects your personality and how these things can be helpful for you inside a business school, depending on the course that you are opting for. Some people might be opting for courses like the design courses, the communication course, advertising courses, marketing courses. So if you have a great design appeal, or probably you know you love fashion somehow. So you can actually contribute to fashion industry, the marketing of it, the branding of it. So these things should be there in the SOP. Is that clear? I'll also float a sample SOP to all of you. Great. So there are reading fiction, Sundaram, of course, that can be a hobby. And fiction might have transformed you, some kind of book or some novel or some story might transform you to another level. There is a book called Animal Farm by George Orwell. In that book, it's a political commentary. So that might have given you interest in politics in a philosophical way. Or they can be books like The Little Prince. It's a fiction. In that book, it is a commentary on how the moral and social evils can irritate a simple and straight person. Okay, so when you read that, probably you realize that okay, I have to do something for the world. So these things can transform you depending on hobbies, interests, education, professional experience, the places you go, the people you talk to, the things you do, the things you think upon. So all those things should be transforming your personality. Pride and Prejudice help you to understand social inequality. Very good, Sundaram. Very good. Yeah, Sahil is asking, can you explain the objective tone? Of course, Sahil. I think you joined late, but in the previous two slides, as I was explaining how a resume should be written, it's basically, okay, I'll just repeat that. It is basically a collection of facts, figures, statistical, empirical, verifiable data as the objective tone, which is not composed of any kind of emotions or any kind of rhetoric. You understand what rhetoric is? Rhetoric is are the questions which should not be answered, which should not be. So objective is all about facts and figures and stats. That is the objective tone. Right. Now coming to do's and don'ts. It is for the SOPs as well as resume. Brevity. What is brevity? Brief, brevity. So brief is the adjective, brevity is the abstract noun. I hope you understand that. You should be brief. Yeah. You should not write long description. लिखते ही चले गए. No, don't do that. Be clear and precise. I hope these things are something which you guys already understand. But we should be focusing on this. Beating around the bush should not be done, or subjectivity should not be there. So you should not mention anything which will be opinionated subjectively. Okay. Uh, like some people might feel that this thing is good and some might feel this thing is bad. That is what subjectivity is. It can be beneficial for some, wasteful for others. So we should avoid any kind of subjectivity or beating around the bush. Quantifiability. Quantify. All of you have studied quantitative aptitude already. Quantifiability, things which can be quantified, verified. Here, composing of numbers, stats, data in terms of dates, in terms of marks scored, in terms of duration of your work experience, in terms of places visited, right? This is quantifiability. Abstract ideas should be avoided because you're not going to write a novel over there. Okay? SOP भले ही डिस्क्रिप्टिव हो लेकिन वो स्टोरी या नॉवेल नहीं है. It is just a description of your resume in such a way that transformed your life, which forced you or which encouraged you or inspired you to choose a specific domain in a B school. That is what SOP is. So the tone should be simple and professional. It should not be non-linear. What non-linear is? Inception, Interstellar, Christopher Nolan is a master of non-linear storytelling. So Nolan नहीं बनना है वहां पे. You should be writing simple tone. Do not try to complicate things, and should not be highly personal. Should not be highly personal. You should not write that I was in a kind of in a hostel, and someday my brother, my sister, or my family, my parents came, and I was so happy to see them. We ate laddus and golgappas. No, don't do that. So highly personal tone should be avoided. In reverse chronology, I'm reiterating Third time is very important. Past to present should be avoided. Impactful words. This is going to be the most important part of your SOP writing. SOP writing. Impactful words like secured, led, um, coordinated, okay, cooperated, or the words which have got action in it, a kind of action. These are the words which involve or encourage action and a kind of an emphasis on what you think. Those words should be thought-provoking words. Impactful words should always be used. Here, I excelled in sports. I secured this rank. I led a team of six. All right, these words should be used, and overtly emotional words should be totally avoided. Totally avoided. I secured first rank. I led a team of six. I led a team of six is impactful word. I loved my team. That is overtly emotional. Okay, so you should not be writing overtly emotional words. Clear? Let me look at the queries now. Manila, I think I've answered that. Okay, I've answered this. Cool. Am I clear, everyone? Is this slide totally clear to all of you? Great. अभी homework भी दूंगा मैं, okay? And I will just go through your homework. You'll have 2 3 days, of course. But before that, I'll be floating these sample CVs and SOPs with you. After that, I'll be expecting some kind of homework. Cool. So now your homework will be, you will be writing in a CV first of all. First, let's float a CV to you. You'll write the, you'll write your own CV and send it across. I'll just be sharing links after this class to all of you. You can just do it over there. And apart from that, you can write the statement of purpose. So the kind of percentiles that you have got and the calls that you're expecting based on those calls, just take the pointers. Let's say you might get a call from I'm Ahmedabad or I'm Lucknow, you're interested in agribusiness management or the finance or the marketing. So based on that, try to write SOPs. But just before that, we should be doing an exercise. So what I'm trying to do over here in the admit sure, first there'll be a class, and then there'll be an exercise in which we'll be getting to know each other better because these things, CV, and after that there'll be VAT assessment. So in these things, we need to know each other better. Once we know each other better and the kind of calls that you are expecting, based on that, you'll be writing the SOP. That will be your homework. Okay. So in the end, I would just like to say, whatever you write, whatever you do, just be truthful about it. Do not try to over exaggerate in your SOP or in your CV. Just try to be precise and tell the truth. Do not lie because they might verify your details. Here, okay, there's a query. Sundaram says 93.8 percentile is C category, so 9.8. Oh, good. Fresh, male, non-engineer. For all the IITs, what are my chances at FMS, IIT Bombay, Delhi, Kharagpur, and Kanpur? Sundaram, I think you have great chances, great chances. At the same time, you also have chances for IIMs as well. So, barring 3 or 4 colleges, you might be getting call from all the colleges for sure. Just prepare for that. Prepare for that, which you're already preparing. And whatever I have taught over here, they're just the pointers. Now, सब लोग क्या करेंगे अपना सीवी लिखेंगे अपने हॉबीज इंटरेस्ट सोचेंगे कौन सा हमने किया हुआ है क्या किया हुआ है और वो सारा जस्ट मेक अ लिस्ट ऑफ इट बाय द वे देयर आर सम कॉलेजेस which go in another way. They will give you a form, and in that form there'll be a lot of questions. The most important question which everybody is interested in: why MBA? Why MBA? Why you chose this domain? They can ask about the co-curricular activities or the extra. So it will not be, it will kind of be a resume sort of thing only. That is called a resume form, a CV form, in which there'll be questions, your long-term goals, your short-term goals. Some colleges also ask you what your friends think about you, what your teachers think about you, okay, what your professional peers, in case you are working, think about you. What is the first incident which elated you? Any kind of incident that depressed you? Some colleges might also ask your strengths and weaknesses, 2 to 3 points. So that is something which you need to be very careful about it, because your entire interview will be around that CV form. So tell me, I'm going to ask you all, tell me any three of your strengths and three of your weaknesses. Be quick. Let's see what do you think your strengths and weaknesses are. Strengths and weaknesses. Any three. Priya says, weaknesses, overthinking. Okay. Sundaram says, leadership skills, managing pressure, and time punctuality. Sundaram, and you have to be ready for the questions around this. Leadership skills, you are saying that, that means you are serious about it. So there will be questions that when did you realize, or how do you realize that you have got leadership skills? Or how would you, when you realize that you can manage pressure? And of course, that might be coming from your work experience, but there will be questions around it. Supriya says weakness is overthinking. Now, Supriya, don't, and it's a good point actually. That's why I asked you your weaknesses. See, Supriya has got a weakness which can transform into strength as well. Okay, Supriya. So we should always write those weaknesses. We should think of those weaknesses which can be somehow translated into strengths in some domains. For example, overthinking can translate into perfectionism, isn't it? Right, Supriya? It's not always negative. The positive part of it is also there. So the weakness that you write should also have a positive outcome in some domain. Strength is punctual and discipline. Cool. There's so many people. Try to write more. And in case you're not able to think about this because I think you're not prepared for it, so let's do it. So now in your homework, there's one more thing which you have to do. You have to do your SWOT analysis. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Try to write it. Think about it. That's your homework. Take an hour, understand things, and write it all. And after that, just make the pointers and keep it with you, because I'll be seeing it in one of the batches in this admit sure classes. Clear? Iftikhar, strength, discipline, highly curious, weaknesses that sometimes I get too obsessed with my goals and it has adverse effects on me. Iftikhar, that's a very nice point, because there's something which you can improve upon, right? Once you get obsessed with your goals, it can be a good thing. It has an adverse effect, that is right, but with a lot of patience and a lot of mental exercises, all the adverse effects can be removed. So this is the kind of weakness that I am looking at. Inquisitive, quick learner, listen to people. Pranchi, that's very good. Nice, nice, nice. There's so many nice and interactive people over here. Very good, very good. Prepare a draft. So by when can I expect two things from you? First is the resume, and the other is strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. I'll be sharing a link in which you can just reply and float these things. In the next session that I have, I'll be expecting that all of you are ready with the next thing, which is which will be going on writing ability. Well, there are some more queries, I believe. Satyam says, what are opportunities and threats? Satyam, opportunity is a chance. It can be a place, it can be an event, it can be a chance given to you by your seniors, by your parents, by your college professors, which can help you grow the current opportunities that you have. Opportunity can also be an ambition. By the way, try to have opportunities which are objective in nature. You see, ambition is very subjective. It's kind of abstract. So, well, so that is the opportunity. Threats, like if you feel that there are certain hurdles in realizing your dreams or ambitions or your work or your deadline, meeting deadline, those can be threats. So that is what you have to write. Manisha, I hope you got the query resolved. Is that clear? Sundram, link for submitting the answers. No, there'll be no WhatsApp group, Sundram. In the portal itself, if you go to the portal, there is I have just made a community sort of thing in which you can post. I'll start a post in the thread. You can just keep on posting your details. So that community is known as Cat Set Go. Cat Set Go. Okay. So just you can. I'll share the link. I'll share the link to all of you. I'll get it shared. Clear? Any more? Any more queries? Cool. So I hope we are clear about this, and the name is catchy and amazing. Sundaram, is that so? Thank you. Cat set go. Yeah, it is a kind of old adage. Get set go. So cat set go is that. By the way, SNG is for super grads. Well, um, I'll share the link and let's do it. So I think all of you are properly motivated, and I'm going to ask you, how is the Josh? Yashika, of course, I'll be answering that today itself. Sundaram says hi. Cool. How's the Josh? Very high. Perfect. Perfect. So let's make a culture. Let's try to get to know each other really well. And all the people who are here for Admit Sure will make sure that you get the college that you want, and you have to make sure that you do the things that we are suggesting. On this note, I would like to take your leave. Thank you. It was a wonderful session, the first session, but I really liked it. I loved it. So let's meet again in the next class. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.